Good morning, guys. Welcome to Reinvented. And we're back. So I do not have a guest this week. Sadly, I know. Y'all like having guests, but we're going to do another little chit-chat for 40-ish minutes, I guess. I forgot to turn my phone on silent. Now, it doesn't go off as much as it used to, but still. I might shift myself around in this chair a lot. But let's get into it. All right. Tell us what you do. And yes, I'm finding questions to answer. Or I guess I could tell you guys about myself while I eat cookies. So for starters, I'm a comedian. Woo! Now, I also will say that if you see me in public, I really don't talk about it that much. I don't really talk about my career outside of working. And also, guys, I do want to say that, next month, where can listeners find you? Obviously, if you've seen this podcast, you know it's on YouTube. Reinvented Podcast YouTube. Let me look it up. It's way too early for this. I only got up like 30 minutes ago, guys, so let me find. Let's not listen to booty work. Yes, guys, I listen to a lot. I also listen to a lot of music throughout the day on my phone. So, okay, so that's the email. That's good to know. What was the, Reinvented Podcast. I don't know why I can remember if it was Reinvented or Reinvented Podcast. I don't know why. But also, I have my own personal YouTube. But, yeah, this Reinvented Podcast. It's also on Spotify. All right. Who are your role models and why? So obviously, and this is not coming from a comedy standpoint. Actually, growing up, it was actually Macklemore. Now, I got a lot of shit for this growing up because of how, he relapsed and, just, all that, because I think a lot of it had to do with, he was trying to be clean. But, and relapses do happen, sadly. I mean, of course they're not what anyone wants, and no one wants that regardless of what the circumstances. But I think a lot of it had to do with, I feel like a lot of it was resilience, more to say. I don't really know how to explain that because I feel like a lot of it was just his resilience to come back every time and say, okay, I made a mistake. Let's keep moving. And also, I really love how, I love his music, but I also just kind of love how he brings, a lot of, I don't know if the right word I'm looking for is passion, to any of, his performances, just, I think his art in general, I think I love a lot. That's probably just me. I grew up loving Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. I went to see them when I was, I think, 14. Yeah, I went to see them when they came to Portland. Awesome show. I mean, I didn't get the cookie that was thrown at me, or that was thrown in the crowd. I ended up getting the flu the next week, but besides that point, also I failed a test because I went, but whatever. Just saying. The week after wasn't great. The show was great. The week after was like not at all. Loved having the flu. Yeah, that was great. Okay, what made you choose to pursue your current career path, or how do you come to do what you do? Okay, so a lot of things here to unpack. So obviously, I know like a lot of people started like following me because of my makeup content, but I don't know. I got to a point in beauty school when I was like finishing up because I fell behind because of a COVID exposure, right? And as I'm like trying to go through and through like working full time and go to school, it was like relatively difficult because like I don't know like how to explain that, but it was kind of difficult to like I don't know, just like make the trip out to the school and take a test that like I don't like that like it was like we'd take a practice and just to kind of like full on finish up the program. And I don't know, like at the end of the day I started thinking like when I made like my 6 months plan for 2021, I remember, saying like I'm gonna get my esthetician's license this month. But like as I started to move going forward, I just kind of realized I was like, is this something I want to do long term? Because this is taxing. This is really taxing, and I'm really not loving it. Like I'm not loving going out to school, doing all that stuff. And people really like I don't think realize that people are like, oh well, you don't go to beauty school. I'm like, well, not anymore, I don't. So what else can I do? So yes, like then I have like other like things I enjoy, but I think part of me like when it came down to like after beauty school, because like I for like a good 2-3 years, yeah, 2-3 years, I wanted to do makeup. But then I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. I'm like, I'm really not enjoying myself. What else? Like, I'm like, okay, like, now what? Now what the hell do I do? It's like, okay, what the fuck do I do now? And it was kind of like, it got really difficult because I had everyone telling me things I could do. And I'm like, that sounds like a lot of fucking schooling. Like some people were like, oh, be a lawyer. And I'm like, that sounds like I want to kill myself. I was like, that doesn't sound fun. I was like, I've heard people say that's stressful as shit. Like, that schooling is stressful as shit. It's like, I'm good. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, I know a lot about food being in the food industry, but, like, in all honesty, at least in my point in my life, right now, I am definitely in a point in my life where I'm like, I get home, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is cook any food, okay? I'm lazy as fuck sometimes, okay? We all are. But I think a lot of me wanted to do comedy because if people know me, like, in my life, they know I'm just joking about the shit in my life. Like, they know that I might be depressed, I might be anxious, but I'm going to roast the fuck out of myself, and I'm just gonna make jokes for no fucking reason. Everyone knows that I make jokes for no fucking reason. Let's see. Describe your daily routine. I don't know if I have a routine anymore. I'm not gonna lie, I had a routine. I don't feel like I do. Because I don't, because like, yeah, I get up in the morning, but like, all I do is get up in the morning, put clothes on, brush my teeth, deodorant, sunscreen, tie my hair up, and then I work the whole rest of the day. So I don't know. Like, I don't really have a daily routine. I mean, I guess I can say, like, I get up. After I get up, I work. So that's what y'all wanted. Tell us one interesting thing about yourself. I don't know, because I feel like a lot of me has been a pretty open book for the most part. I'm trying to think. Ooh, I don't know if I ever told anyone this, but I've been on TV. I've been on TV. I probably have said that, but I've been on TV. Now, I'm not going to go Google and look for it, but I've been on TV. And no, it wasn't very big. What is your biggest inspiration? To be honest, I always and like I said, a few, like podcast episodes ago, I like to think that like when I'm like growing up, it was always like, like what did God put you on this planet to do? I was always told that growing up. Like, and I grew up kind of like not like super religious. Like I wasn't actively going to church or what, like, but like, oh, like what did God put you on this planet for? Like stuff like that. And I used to like say like, well, people thought I was really stupid, but but it definitely was. I was like, it's to inspire others, and I still feel like I still hold some of that true today. Like, honestly, I like to be the one, to put my foot forward and say, this is how I'm going to do it, and this is how it's happening. So, that's just me. What advice would you give your younger self? It's okay to heal. It's honestly, it's okay to heal. Of course, it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker. But it's okay to heal wounds. How do you practice self-care or self-love? I sleep. In all honesty, I sleep. I lazy. Not really. But honestly, like if I tell people this, if you feel like if your body is telling you it is not ready for the day, it is not ready for the day. Like I honestly just like my body, like obviously, I have a disease, it makes me throw up. Sometimes it's gonna kick my body into overdrive, which it's done that. But if you feel like you need a break or you feel like any of that, take the break you need. Like your body is trying to tell you something. All right, let's see. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I'm an introvert. Definitely not an extrovert. Anyone watching this? Yes, I'm an introvert. Yeah, I always have been. Like I always say, I'm more out there once you get to know me. But I will say I always make people dig. I make them dig for it. Which sounds really bad, which it probably is. But I'm going to make you dig for it because I don't know how to have conversations very well. Like, I like people, but duh. All right. Describe yourself with one word. Resilient. So, like a good word? Yeah, I would say resilient. I know that wasn't a very long question, but whatever. All right, let's see. What is your favorite thing about what you do? Honestly, I love the writing process of it. It sounds really stupid, but I love writing. And I actually gave up like writing. And like I loved, like, I don't know, I loved writing. I just hated everything I was writing, like, because I used to write songs and stuff like that, and it was like some of it got like just hard. I don't know, I just didn't love it. So let's see, what skill or skills do you have that make you particularly suited for your career? You know, I would say creativity. Creativity comes very, you know, I don't know if so much naturally, but like I definitely have more of a creative mind. I'm always like, ooh, let's try like creating this, and I'm trying to. I got like tape banned from me. I wasn't allowed to get Scotch tape as a child because I kept using it all because I wanted to play and make things out of paper. I said it as a joke, but like I did use way too much fucking tape. What is a common myth about your industry? I feel like a common myth with like comedy and stuff is also like, and this is just for me personally, I've met like some other comedians around the area who are also kind of in the same boat I am. They're working a full-time job on top of it. Like, comedy is not their full-on career. Like, some of them it is. Some of them have done stand-up for a long time. But I will say, like, the common myth is that, like, this is like, I don't like. I feel like a lot with performers, you look at performers and like look at them and think, oh, you know, their life must be great because they got money. It's not entirely true. Like, yeah, life doesn't have. It does. It is partly a mindset thing, but some people really do have those positive mindsets and struggle to right the fuck through it. So, yeah. All right, let's see. What is your biggest challenge at work? Okay, so I say for me personally, and this just kind of comes from me, I like my material. I'm definitely a lot younger than a lot of the other comedians, right? I'm probably like one of the youngest of them. I don't think I've met anyone around my age. I've met comedians that are, you know, like older than me. That they're probably in their like 30s or 40s. So that's what makes going to open mics so weird for me, because a lot of these people are a lot older than I am. But it's so like, oh, why am I yawning? So like, I feel like for me, like, these people really wouldn't understand what I'm saying. Like, of course they were 21 at some point too, so there's got to be some in there. But I don't know, because sometimes it's always like, are people gonna understand? Are people gonna, like, you know, oh yeah, you know, I was in that situation at one point too. So sometimes you just have to find your audience and who it works with. All right, what is your end goal? You know, I feel like my end goal is, you know, I feel like a lot of it has to kind of do with, I just kind of want like, you know, a stable career, not where I'm like working too much, if that makes sense. Like, not like where it's like, oh, I got a stable routine, but more of like just kind of a little bit more stability, I guess. If that makes any sense. And, you know, inspiring people while at it. All right, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I fucking hate these questions. I fucking hate. Where do you see yourself in X amount of years? Because I don't know. I'm like barely know what I'm doing tomorrow. Like, I really don't. But I will have to say, like, you know, I'm hoping just to keep my career going. And hopefully we'll keep reinventing for a long time too. So, tell us one thing you failed at and how you overcame it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a story from like elementary school. So I don't know about you guys, but tetherball was the shit in elementary school. I loved tetherball. God, that was fun. Somebody got hit in the face, but tetherball, a lot of fun. Now, I sucked at tetherball. I don't know if I so much sucked or just no one told you the rules. And sometimes we'd get in trouble at recess if we didn't know the rules, but no one told us. So besides the point, I remember I won, I think 3 tetherball games in a row. I loved it. I loved it. And it was 2 or 3 in a row. And I was like, yeah. I failed a lot at tetherball. I mean, yeah, I know it was a fun recess thing, but it was a lot of fun. Okay, just saying. What is one thing you wish you had known when you began your career? Not to overthink. I feel like when I thought of comedy, I felt like I had to rehearse my set word for word, and I was struggling so much. Hence why, when that one open mic I posted for you guys, it does, kind of, it sounds more scripted. Of course, I have my material kind of written down, what I want to say, but I don't know. I was trying to so hard to do it, so scripted, and it was what the fuck is this? So that was, I don't know, what has been the proudest moment of your career so far? I think just support wise. People, there are people that like comedy, and comedy, it can be fun. So I would say support from different types of people. All right, let's see. How do you balance life and work? And I used to do this so bad too, because I wasn't very good at it, and I would burn myself out no tomorrow. But I will say, there is a certain point, if I am not on my work tablet, or I am if I am at my full-time job, or if I'm, I don't know, on my full-time job or anything like that, or if I'm sleeping, I am not going to answer your emails. Okay, if you email me, I ain't answering you till the morning. For the most part, I will not answer until the morning. Sometimes you do gotta prioritize stuff. For if I'm out with dinner with family or friends, I ain't answering my emails. Alright, let's see. What are your 3 favorite products or things right now? I have a notebook problem. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I love my coffee maker. The best. I don't know. I got 2 things. Does that work? I don't people think, oh well, you post a lot of stuff on social media. Your phone must be. Not really. This phone gives me so much anxiety. What is one thing you can't live without, and why? My coffee maker. I need my coffee. Can't live without coffee in general. So, my coffee maker. Coffee fuels my body. Tell us something unique about yourself. Anyone notice? I'd have to get real damn close here, and you guys are gonna get real close. I have a scar right here. I tripped over my own feet into some want to say it was like plexiglass. Yeah, it was bleeding real bad. It was bad. But like, yeah. Let's see. What is your hidden talent? I like to say that I can write with both hands. People think that's weird. Like I can write with this hand, but I can also write with this one. Like there are some things I can only do with my right hand, and like I can't with my left. So I don't know. What do you think the world will look like in 100 years? Oh no, I'm not destroyed. Oh, but my alarm's gonna go off here in a minute. Well, I'm about to hear it. Yeah. I would say like if people don't stop like arguing with each other over like the littlest things, a lot of I feel like you see the same thing, just a little bit different sides of it. And it's like, stop arguing over it. Stop arguing over it. If you could have any other career, what would it be? Now, I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a singer when I grew up. I also, like, yeah, I remember that. Like, I probably would do that, but I don't think my voice is up for that no more. So, let's see. No, I don't think I have any more questions today, guys. I know it's a shorter podcast, but, yeah. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Reinvented. I'll see you next week, guys. Peace.